EvilCraft is just one of many mods in all the mods 10. It can be very difficult to automate, but can give a huge advantage in the early game. Okay, we have some stuff to do, obviously, as we're getting pretty close to the Ultimate Star, but we do have some more things to do. And I want to focus on EvilCraft in this episode because there is 4 things that go into the Ultimate Star that we don't have. And this mod is relatively easy to learn, and there's some cool tips for you if you're starting a new world. So we need to get this blood infuser, as it can be used to craft a whole lot of things, which we're definitely gonna need. But to get that, we need the blood infusion core, which needs hardened blood shards and dark powered gems, which need a dark gem through the infuser, but we can't get the infuser. So there is one other thing we can do, and that being we can get some condensed blood or the blood extractor. And I want to say I actually have some. No, we only have 2. So I guess we'll go with the extractor, which is a dark gem and some spikes. And the spikes are just dark gems and iron. So I want to say we can use our digital miner to get these. I'm just not sure if it will work, but there's only one way to find out. Oh yeah, and it definitely works, which means this should be more than good enough for now. Oh, and we get the crushed darkstone gems from this too. Oh, that's gonna be very helpful. I thought that was a totally separate thing we needed. Just give me the spikes and now the blood extractor. But thinking about it, I kind of want to go get some of that condensed blood just because I know it'll be very helpful for later. And you'll normally find them in these little spawner rooms, just like that. And they really aren't too difficult to find. They're most likely in almost any spawner room. And I'm not actually sure if this will work, but I believe as long as you have 5 different blocks, you can just shift click. No. Okay, so that won't work. We will have to go find some other mobs. And then once you just whack a few things, it'll automatically start filling up with some blood. So I want to say things like mimics will give a ton of blood. Then you have some cows, pigs, and sheep that give very little. I'm not actually sure about iron golems though. Oh, they give a good amount. But then once your extractor is full, you can just go ahead and right click a bunch of these blocks and then very quickly chuck in some dark gems. However, all that blood will only get you 1. But now we're going to need the hardened blood shards, which come from hardened blood blocks, which you can get from drying blood in either a drying basin or by just letting blood sit here in the overworld until it dries. But you can't use just any normal pickaxe. You will need silk touch. It can sometimes just take a very long time. So I guess we could speed this up with the drying basin, which is very simple, just some black dye. But I do want the mechanical version, not just the regular. So we're going to need these energy batteries, which require these mineral chunks and then mineral blocks as well. And if I'm remembering this correctly, you get those from these trees. Yeah, there we go. But that was only 1. Okay, I might need to make an axe. Yeah, let's just take this one. I wonder, can we actually just constantly use these logs? Or will it not drop us any of the things? Not looking like it. Oh, but we can squeeze these logs to get some mineral resin in just a regular squeezer. Oh yeah, we're definitely doing that. And if I remember things about this correctly, you can just put a redstone signal beside them, throw your log in, and then if I shut off my jetpack, you just stomp on this thing. And then once you give it a redstone signal, it resets, and there's 1 bucket of resin. And I believe if I throw this bucket down here, if I keep stomping on it, that should fill up. No. Yeah, I guess that log's a little squished. How do I get this to fill? Does it have to be on the same level? Oh yeah, same level. And then if you let that sit for a little, it'll turn into the block. That is 9 crystal each. I should really just make a button instead of a torch, which means I should now be able to make the energy batteries, which will allow me to make the mechanical squeezer, which means I should just be able to chuck the logs in, add some quick power, and we'll get a bunch of resin that we can automatically push out into the basin. Then we can just make the mechanical drying basin as well. And then that could store multiple of the blocks for whenever. But that's not the only use of these 2 blocks that we're going to need. For now, I'll just chuck them down over here in our base, and we will be coming back to those later. Oh wait, no, what am I doing? I need to use some of the blood in here. Then we can just take all that hardened blood and instantly smelt it into the hardened blood shards, which will now allow us to make the core and the infuser. And I think I'll just chuck that right there for now. And I believe we can also fill this up with a condensed blood. And that leads us to what I was saying about the early game. If you're looking to either get looting or fortune very easily, you can just craft up this sword or pickaxe. Oh no, we're not quite there yet. Almost though. We need to make this undead sapling first, which we can get from a dead bush and some blood. Then we can get the dead bush from smelting a sapling or just by finding them in the world anywhere. But I'm going to go the sapling route. Oh, I guess it has to be in an alloy smelter or in our drying basin. Yes, please. And so if I throw you in there, it's going to take its sweet time. Then we can just take the sapling, plant it outside, and we can just bone meal that up. Then we can just grab the logs and our planks, which means now we can make the dark sticks and our dark power gems, grab the sword and the pickaxe. Then, as you know, with a piece of obsidian, the items, a couple books, and the anvil top, we can take off all the enchants, throwing away the Curse of Vengeance, because who wants that? And then those are pretty much useless now. So yeah, easy looting and fortune. And now, seeing as we have the basic infuser, I should be able to go ahead and make these items. So let's start with the Vengeance Focus. We're going to need blood orbs, which need a promise of tenacity 1 and an empty orb, which the orb is just iron and glass. Then the promise of tenacity 1. You'll need bowl of promise, a spider eye, and an iron promise acceptor, which is an iron block through the infuser. But this needs a ton of blood. Then for the bowl of promise, we'll need a dusk bowl, which is with the crushed dark gemstones and an empty bowl. So let's grab that and then fill her up. Then we'll just run that through, which means we can now combine it all together for the promise of tenacity 1, which just gets thrown into this slot, which will unlock the next one. And this is going to take a very long time to fill up, but we could speed that up just a little bit with these promises of velocity, which is another promise bowl, another iron promise acceptor, and a redstone block. And I wonder, when I throw this in, do I get the other slot available? No. Okay, that doesn't happen. But the orbs should fill up quicker when we have enough blood in here. Anyways, so now that we have the orbs, I believe we have the end crystals, and we know how to get popped coarse fruit. Just the Vengeance Focus now. This requires iron, the crushed dark gemstone, and a Vengeance ring, which is iron and crushed gemstone. And that is the Peering Vengeance Focus. But we need 2 of them. But now I think I want to move on to the Mace of Destruction, which requires some of that pain and sorrow. An empowered inverted bat. Man, some of the names in this mod pack are hard to pronounce. So to get the empowered, we need to put this through an environmental accumulator, which I believe spawns in the overworld. And then we just need the sphere with some dark gems, which is made like that. And I hope this is relatively easy to find. Maybe it's this thing we seen in the first episode? Environmental accumulator. Look at that. We found it in episode 1. Okay, let's clear out some of this dirt though, so we can take a look at what we're doing here. I actually didn't know these things could spawn underground, but I believe we just need to throw that out right next to it. Are you gonna do something? I don't really know what's happening with this thing, but sure. Does it need like direct access to the sunlight or something? Oh, okay, no, never mind. We need to strike this with lightning. I don't know why it's telling us to put it through an accumulator though. Not too sure. But I was looking at this right here, which just seems to be like our infuser. And for that, we need an environmental accumulation core, which you can't actually craft them. But if you hold shift, it says you can obtain these when breaking a regular environmental accumulator. And that's what we got here. So let's try to break it. And that is taking a very, very, very long time. I really hope when this breaks, it doesn't destroy fully. Nope, there we go. We got it. There's got to be a faster way to destroy those. But going back to this, I was told these charged snowballs from Powa work very well. So if I grab some snow, I chuck these in, they'll become charged. And then I should just be able to throw that on the ground and then throw a charged snowball. And there we go, it's empowered. Let's put you out before you spread to the house. So now all I should need is this stuff, which requires a Promise of Tenacity 3. And we'll need a Diamond Promise Acceptor for that, which requires a Tenacity Tier 2, which requires the Gold Promise Acceptor. And since we have the Tier 1 in here, I should just be able to chuck the gold block in, and we'll need more blood. But this is getting kind of annoying, so I think I should get that automated. And to do that, I'm going to need a lumber bee, because the lumber bee can actually generate every single kind of log as long as you have one. And all you need is yellow carpenter bee and a green carpenter bee. And you can get those from any kind of wood nest across the world. So it's a Good thing we're surrounded by trees. Actually, you know what? I could just craft the nests myself. So, hello, green bee. There we go. There's the yellow guy. So I should just be able to breed these two together. And I'm gonna make a couple of them because I want to fill up an entire nest, but not until after I add all of the highest levels of upgrades onto these guys. But now with these guys in the hive, we need to feed them something. And what we feed them heavily depends on what we will get out of the bee. And in this case being the undead log that we will just throw directly into our system. And then if I move my mechanical squeezer right down here and then throw on an export bus onto the bottom, which will be our undead logs, and then import bus onto the top, which will be our blood. Not exactly sure why it's not going in. Maybe it'd have to be on the side. Oh yes, it does. Then we just export the blood directly into the infuser. And that is blood automated. But anyways, back on over to the Promise of Tenacity 2, which we can swap out with the 1, unlocking yet another slot that I can throw yet another velocity upgrade into, and then the diamond block, which requires a little bit more blood. So we'll just move on to the Vengeance Essence, which is another kind of Vengeance Essence, which doesn't actually tell you how to get. Thankfully, I know how. We just need to come back to these Piercing Vengeance Focuses, and then we'll just need to craft up the Vengeance Focus itself. Oh, wait, no, sorry, it's the ring I need. We don't really need to freeze them. So we'll just shift right click to enable this. And then if we go find any mob whatsoever, it can be passive. Whack it, you'll see its spirit show up right there. And we need to do something very quickly or they disappear. So let's try it again with the cow. And then if we grab our Vengeance Focus and hold right click, this is how we actually damage these guys. And once you defeat one, you'll get the essence. I really wish there was an easier way to get that. Maybe that's why the freezing beam exists, to make it slightly easier. But who wants things to be easy? Which means now we can just take those and convert them all to the materialized Vengeance Essence. Wait a second, you can stack these? Oh, that's a game changer. Because each one of these are 2 times the efficiency. So I'll just take about 21 blocks, and after the diamond thing's done, we'll just throw all those in and kind of let it do its thing. Actually, no, that can wait because we need to do this. Okay, but now I'm very curious how much you could stack these two. Okay, so it seems like you can only stack them to 4. So that's 24 times speed if we fill up all of these. I think I should do that. Okay, but now that that's done, we'll check the materialized Vengeance Essence in. And those upgrades were definitely a good idea. Because now, there's our Mace of Destruction. But if I want to automate those, we need to make the Singularity Environmental Accumulator, which we now have all the stuff for as well. I don't think I need anything special in this. Maybe we do. Oh, does this thing, is this like a ritual thing? Yeah, I think it is. So we're going to need a couple tanks, which I believe will make the Darkstone tanks for. And I hope 8 will be good. And I don't really know where I want to put this just yet. Actually, maybe down in here, because I should be able to just chuck that there and then put 1 tank there, and there. And I want to say I can just put a bunch of export buses on the bottom of these and then hopefully just connect them all up using cable and then add blood to the export buses. And why aren't you filling? Because we don't have any blood in the system just yet. Okay, yeah, there we go. That does have blood. And that's been taken off the list of tanks required. Let's just craft up 1 more of these. And now if I throw it into the machine, hello, why can't I? So why aren't you working? Show recipes, inverted thing. Yeah, should work, but you're not taking anything. I don't think this should matter, but if I put one of those in, will it allow me to? No. What's going on here? It says I should be able to do it. 60,000 blood, and each one of these has 16 buckets, and there's more than enough of them. Maybe does it have to be storming outside? Because this has to be struck with lightning, and with this being an environmental thing, maybe it matters? Because there is a Scepter of Thunder, which I believe if we right-click it and then go outside, it'll start raining and storming and everything like that. And so maybe? Yeah, there we go. It's working. That's actually pretty good to know. So I guess this can't be fully automated because of the dang weather, but at least the scepters can be. Still kind of sucks though. Anyway, now onto the lighting bomb. We'll just need some TNT and then a lightning grenade. which is a bunch of pearls, and then a weather container thunderstruck, which a dark gem, glass bottle, and some sugar will give us a weather container empty, which I want to say if it's still storming, I should be able to just chuck that into here, and that'll give us thunderstruck. Oh, and that'll give us 8. That's pretty good. And 1 lightning bomb. So that's the majority of the EvilCraft stuff done, besides filling this tank, because we haven't actually got into the mod that needs to be put into that tank just yet. So I might as well work on some other stuff in the meantime. I can either work on all these different kinds of generators and the rainbow coal, or we can work on the nether star crux, because we are going to need a lot of nether star blocks. Or I could just do a wither prediction. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. But we're still going to need the crux anyways to go into the wither compass. But I still think I'll do the wither module just to get the nether stars themselves. But then for the withering souls, we're actually going to need wither predictions themselves. And then we're also going to need wither skeleton skulls. So I will need another one of these. So now I want to say if I build out the wither and I actually grab 2 modules, I should only need to fight 6. And I always forget how easy these guys are to defeat. So I probably didn't need this contraption, but that is an excellent way to fight them if you can't one-shot. So I think I'll just build multiple of these at once just to speed up the process. One shot, and come on, and 1 shot. I love this sword. And we will get some souls at the same time. And unfortunately, we're actually out of skeleton skulls, and we only have 2 left. So I think I'll come into the other, and we'll go find some wither skeletons. Like this guy. I see you're also hunting those guys. Very nice. Make sure to leave some for me. And with that wither skeleton to advanced, I can now just chuck it into our simulator and create ourselves a lot of wither skulls, which will let us build our last 2 withers. So give me you. And with leaving that crater behind, I can throw this one in here, creating just our nether stars. And then I guess I can actually just place this simulation chamber right here with the import bus there. And let's say even there, exporter on top, exporter set to the prediction, the back set to the generalized predictions, and then the last one set to the wither prediction itself. Making sure not to forget the power, and data module goes in. How are you missing a channel? This thing's full. I guess I could set up this machine on its own. Then that will get going, no problem. I'll just keep an eye on all of these, just in case it starts backing up and we don't realize it. But we should now be able to make these withering souls. Just the witherless rose now. Oh, wait, no, that's pretty easy. Just some fertile essence, nether stars, and a rose bush. So I should just be able to make the patterns, as we have all necessary items now to make this nether star crux and the nether star block. I love how fast the system crafts. But now we only have 2 items left with the mystical agriculture section. And for the witherproof bricks, I believe we have everything. No, we need the wither skeleton essence, which is made with the soul jars that we can use either coal or wither skeleton skulls for. So it's a good thing we have a lot of those now. And we should be good to go. And I do want to say this is just built in the normal altar. Yes, indeed it is. And I'll just throw this with our water essence and their dyes. So I should now be able to craft up 4 of the blocks, which completes that part. Now it's just time for the Awakened Supremium block, made by a bunch of ingots using Prosperity ingots and Awakened Supremium essence, which is made through the Awakened block in our advanced version of the altar. Just using this kind of dust, which you get from defeating a wither or an ender dragon with a sword or bow enchanted with mystical enlightenment. And that goes to a very high level. But how do we get those? Oh, with experience essence and supremium. We'll just need the enchanter. And we can do that. Apparently we don't have the experience seed though. It just requires the capsules, and that's not too bad. Am I just able to right click these? Yes, I am, and they fill up. So just some Imperium and our seed base. So while I wait for the experience to top up, I'm going to make the Supremium sword. And we've made most of these items before, as we had to make the Supremium scythes for our farms, and it's pretty much the same process. Oh, and these actually come with capturing 2 on them already. That might be helpful for later. So now I'll just want to chuck sharpness on the sword, which also requires some essence. So we'll just grab a few of the enlightenments and a few of the sharpness. And after combining them together, we'll just throw them right on the sword. And this is where our little wither builder area will come in handy, because we definitely won't be one-shotting this guy. And he's gone. All right, that didn't go according to plan, but he does seem to be stuck where he is, slowly breaking things. No, get back here. I don't want you escaping. Thank you. And we got 12. I think we might need to do one more. 24. Good. So with the different kind of essences and a supremium block, I should now just be able to craft up the awakened supremium block. And we'll grab a couple of them, because from there they'll get converted into the essence. Then we can make a bunch of ingots, and that's our awakened block. Mystical agriculture complete. So I do think that's going to do it for this episode, guys. If you did enjoy, please like, subscribe, hit the little notification bell to be notified every single time I upload. It's free, and you can always unsubscribe later. Sorry for this video being a little bit late. I was out of town for work for pretty much a week straight, and didn't have a chance to record for you guys. So that being said, this might be a slightly shorter episode, but I still hope you guys enjoyed. So again, hope you enjoyed. Take care, have a good day, and goodbye.